Happy Women's Month. With much appreciation to all of our fabulous female listeners, honor yourself in every way. For all that you are is beautiful and significant. You are the biggest flex. You are that girl and will forever be. Hugs and kisses from us here on Presente to you. Celebrate and keep shining. Welcome to Presente, a space and community that vibes on being in the moment, something we are relearning how to do in a fast-moving world.
We are excited to be part of a growing movement that talks about topics that we feel haven't been talked about in our Latin culture and womanhood.
Be present with us. Take a pause and break down societal norms.
Redefine the meaning of existing. Welcome to Presente, the podcast. Unlocking Success with Feng Shui. In our first March episode, we spoke of human design and the energy surrounding you at the time of your birth. Today, we introduce a way of unlocking energy within your own spatial environment, Feng Shui. What is Feng Shui? The way of wind and water. Feng means wind,
and Shui means water.
According to research, wind and water are associated with good health. Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese art and practice to use this energy to bring balance and harmony to your physical space. Taoists believe that the land around us is alive and is filled with energies called qi. The goal is to create a space of happiness and motivations by designs and architectural plans, furniture placements, etc.
My name is Linda Boney, and this is Presente. Our next special guest shares insights on harmonizing energy, attracting abundance, and creating balanced spaces for success and well-being. A warm welcome to Feng Shui expert Linda Boney. Thank you for joining us. I am so pleased to have you here on the show. I've known you for several years now through our community business network, and it is really exciting to have you here sharing your insights and expertise on ways that people can improve their living. So thank you so much, Linda, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
Yes, the fundamentals of Feng Shui is something that interests me very much. I think that I know a little bit about it, but here we have you to guide us through, show us the tips and tricks that we can all make use of. As an expert in Feng Shui, what are the fundamental principles of it?
Well, the fundamental principles, the basic principles, is all about chi flow, about energy flow, how you want to have flow in your home, in your workspace, in your anywhere you occupy. So, for example, when you come into the house, you don't want to have anything blocking the doorway. You want to have a nice, smooth pathway, smooth energy. It's usually called the Ming Gua. So the Ming Tang, it's a bright hall. You want to have a nice bright light. You want to have nice space in there. And so when you come into your home, you want to have that energy flowing into your home. It's all basically about, it's two things. There's Sha Qi, which is negative energy, very sharp, fast moving energy. But we want Shen Qi, nice, flowing, smooth, able to move around, able to hear, feel everything around you.
I did not know that there were other principles of Feng Shui, the ones that you just mentioned here about the negative and the positive energies.
There's also the command position. So you want to be in command. You want to be able to, I know the next question, what may be coming up, because people do ask it about what is the misconceptions of Feng Shui. So one of the things is you want to be able to see the door, not be in line with the door. You want to be able to see the door from where you're sitting. So, example, you want to have your bed facing the door, but not directly at the door. So when you're laying in bed, you want to have your headboard, nice solid headboard, be able to be in command. And especially, just imagine the CEO's in the office. When he's in the office or she's in the office, she has to have her desk in a certain way so she can see outside the door and see the employees, see what's going on, and also have opportunities come to her and come to him. So it's important to have that same concept in our homes. So it's a bed, a desk, and also the stove would be in the command position. That's also a basic principle of Feng Shui as well. When at all possible. Sometimes I know it's not possible. Some people tell me, oh, I don't have enough wall space or something, but as much as possible. And there's also tricks and things that you can use and tips to also create that space and be able to have that be in command. And I'll give some more examples as we go along.
What is I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Bagua map?
Bagua.
Bagua. I'm sorry. Okay. What is the Bagua map and how do you apply it to a home or your office?
So Bagua actually means Ba means 8 and Gua means area. So it's an 8-sided, so shape is an octagon. And each of these areas represent each of the parts of our life. There's one part where everyone asks me about is the wealth area. Wealth, new beginnings, prosperity, fortunate blessings. There's another part that's about fame, reputation, illumination. Another part that relates to career, helpful people, travel, relationships, marriage. And marriage also, the partner also. Relationship with yourself is important too with that area. So there's a color associated with each area. There's a number associated with each area. A direction is associated with each area, and even body parts. There's a part for the eyes. There's a part for the hips. There's a part for the legs. And then in the center is going to be ourselves, representing for health, harmony in our bodies, and any other areas that are not represented in the Bagua. So it's actually a map. So we use it as a map, and I put it on the floor plan of your home or your office or your space, your building, and I will let you know exactly where the areas are that needs to be worked on. And if I see there's a deficiency in one area, I'll explain to you how to fix it, what recommendations I make. And if it's doing really well, I'll show you examples of how to even make it more prosperous and more abundant in that area.
That is so helpful. I feel like I see the visuals as you explain it from even the previous question of like entering the home space and referencing the office in command. It does change the mood setting, the mind setting on how you are presented and positioned, I guess, your space, whether interior through furniture or exterior, glass, like whatever it is, it does play its part. Each aspect of it. And sometimes we internalize that without even realizing it.
Exactly. So yeah, the Bagua is pretty much true example of how we as individuals are represented in our space, and our space represents ourselves. So I usually say, what the saying is, you are what you eat, you are where you live, essentially. You take on the energies of what's happening in your space. If your space is feeling really great, you have wonderful lighting and everything is clean and neat and it's in its place, you feel energetic, you feel alive. If it's really cluttered and stagnant, and you're going to pick that up too, and things are not going to go very well and flowing in your life. So it's important to know those things and see those things. So yes, it's very fascinating. I also didn't get to mention the other basic of Feng Shui is the elements. We have 5 elements in Feng Shui: wind, water, wood, earth, and metal. And each of these are normally found in a space. You might have a little bit too much or too little, and what the balances of the word. Say, for example, there's a lot of interior designs that have everything is white. The furniture is white. The carpet is white. The walls are white. That white represents metal. And that's kind of a little bit too excessive. So you want to integrate wood, greens, blues, and different colors, red for fire. And those are the balance of the elements that you want to have in your space. So that's another tool that we also use in Feng Shui.
Based on those tools, what are the most common Feng Shui mistakes people make in their homes and their spaces?
The most common, I would say, well, just for example, I was thinking this earlier when I was preparing for our talk. When I was learning about Feng Shui, I'm a total newbie. I had crystals everywhere. And I had wind chimes everywhere because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. And it actually makes it look like a shop. And that's not what Feng Shui is about. Feng Shui is so much more. You use the wind chimes to move the energy. Also crystals, not saying nothing's wrong with that because I love crystals. It's just that too much of it may create an imbalance. It's more so about moving the furniture. It's about shifting the energy in the space. So that's one misconception. Another misconception is that they see the Bagua and they think, I had one of my clients, actually I learned Feng Shui from her and she actually became my client. And she's a wonderful person. She actually had her home thinking she had to have it in every single color of the Bagua. So her bedroom was like this deep blood red. It was just the kitchen was orange and too intense. The living room was blue everywhere. And that's not the way you have to do your home. You do not have to put your home in all the colors of Feng Shui. My old apartment, I had my whole apartment and living room was beautiful and it was blue and gold. And blue is a great color, but it represents water. So it's almost I was drowning when I had my Feng Shui master come to my space and look at it. He said, you got to get rid of the blue. You can't have the blue in here anymore. So, and actually when I moved to Parkchester, that's where I bought my condo, thanks to Feng Shui, I had neutral colors. She told me to use beige, nice tans, and then use a pop of color with the sofa. Where the sofa was tan, I had red pillows, blue pillows on there, representing the color in different ways. It doesn't have to be on the walls. It also could be in the accessories or the furniture that you have. Another misconception is mirrors. Sometimes people have too many mirrors in a space. It's crazy. It's almost like you're symbolically saying there's an imbalance in yourself. So having mirrors in certain places is good, but not having too much mirrors. And again, one of the biggest misconceptions is putting yourself in the line with the door. Again, you don't want to put yourself in line with the door in the command position. It's so this is the door here. Just imagine the door in front of you. It's either to the left side or the right side you want to be, not directly in the middle. Beds are like that, or desks are like that. There's no other way to do anything about it. But putting a mirror, say for example, most of the offices we have, you're facing a wall, and you have the back. Your back is facing the door, and what that symbolizes is, people could be backstabbing, talking about you, gossiping. You don't want that. So putting a mirror or something reflective. And I know on Amazon, they have these little vases that are reflective and concave mirrors. You can put a little rose in it. They don't have to know this. You're looking back and who is trying to see who's in back of you. But that's also for protection, also puts you in command in a way. So you see the door behind you. Same thing with the bed. If you're not facing the bed, put a mirror in front of you on the side, kind of an angle, and that you can see the door, kind of changing that energy of where you can see the door and see what's coming in front of you. And, and just have that, thing happening. So you can also be protected as well as a command, feeling powerful in your space.
That is so helpful. I feel like I'm gonna run away real quick and start fixing everything.
That's what it does when you learn about it. You're just inspired to do it right away.
And it's very interesting also that you brought up the placement of crystals, which is something I almost spoke about within this episode, because that's something I actually learned about a few years ago with another friend. We were both very heavily set into like the intention of crystals and like all of that, but we were not aware that we had to position them in certain like spots of our home and not have too many of them in order for their energies to work. I really like that you brought that up. It just gives you more tips on how to be able to balance your home space, and that's important. And also will be reanalyzing my own space now that you've mentioned this. What is the easiest way for beginners to start incorporating feng shui? Like maybe what are like some of the small steps people can start to take in order to set up their home space or their workspace?
Easiest way I would say for beginners is just look at your space. See if you would love everything in your space. What I say is love is the highest vibration. So you need to love everything in your space. Not the need, but it's good if you do. I mean, it's the essential part of who we are. We want to have a beautiful home. We want to have things around us that support us. And that way you're not spinning your wheels. You have your home supporting you and giving you that energy. So first thing you come into your house, okay, say for example, I had a beautiful vase. That was a beautiful vase. It was very pretty and white, and it had peonies, and it was one of those glue, the flowers were kind of stuck in there. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then just looking at it, not even creating negative energy, but it was just something that was taking up space and and also kind of almost being a neat way of saying it's cluttering the space. So what I did was I let it go and I gave it to my friend, because I actually had a pair, and I gave it one to her and one to me. I gave it both to her. And that's also another thing too, having a pairs in your home. You want to have 2 nightstands, 2 lamps, equal space on either side of your bed. That's another simple thing to do. Not having your bed up against the wall, if at all possible, because you want to be able to have space on either side of your bed for equal balance in relationships, equal balance in your life, equal balance at work. And also just keeping your stove clean, making sure the burners are working. Everything should be in functional order. Your door, when you open it, it shouldn't be creaking. It should be looking beautiful. It should look nice. When you come in, it should give you energy. When I was growing up, my old house, my door was just disheveled. My mom painted it. It was just a mess. So every time I looked at it, it would irritate me. I would take in that energy. So what I did was I actually asked her to get me a new door. And she actually went out and bought this beautiful, beautiful wooden door with 6 slots. The 6 old-fashioned door, didn't have it painted or anything. It was beautiful. And that door got me out of my house and got me my apartment. because I felt good about it. When I came in the room, I felt great about it. So it's all about seeing your space, seeing what makes you feel happy, see what you love. And if you don't love it, release it, let it go, either donate it, give it to a friend, or find someone who can also use it and have better purpose with it.
Absolutely. I'm definitely a fan of decluttering the space, and I'm sure many of our listeners are as well. It's good to do, I think, annually throughout the year, especially like before like certain events like New Year's, during the spring season. I take like maybe a good 3 days to like look at the space and be like, okay, we are going to work on each room for a maximum of 3 days. I'm not sure if you've heard of Marie Kondo on Netflix, because you brought up decluttering, but she has this way of going into people's homes and helping them be able to let go of their things, but with intention, and then releasing it without like just kind of throwing it away, but more of like, thank you for being present at this point in my life, but now it is time to move on to something else. And she has a really beautiful way of going into the people's spaces and sitting down on their floor, like at a blank canvas. She, puts an intention for the home space. Like, what are the vibes that you want to invite to your space? So when you said all of everything, I was just reflecting back on that Netflix series with Marie Kondo. Definitely a great way to have peace with yourself, as well as having a calm setting when you enter your home, figuring out which ways to tailor it best, and definitely incorporating the art of Feng Shui into it.
Yeah, I've seen that Netflix series many years ago. It just gave me flashbacks because the then and now are just two
No.
different spaces in my life, which brings me to like my next question. I have a family now. It was all easier when it was just me and my living space. But I do share the space with family. For those listening, because I know that your insights would provide tremendous value to our audience, how often should a person update and refresh their feng shui space? I know Jissela just said, through the seasons. I kind of do the same in the change of seasons. What do you recommend?
What I recommend is that when you use the feng shui principles, the tools, the recommendations that I would make, just see what happens. Notice what you notice. If there's things that happen right away, you see positive things that are happening, just keep it up and just go from there. If there's something that's not working out, or just something still not, sometimes it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Some people think, oh, it's a magic wand. It's not a magic wand. Things do take time. It takes time to cultivate. When I learned about feng shui in my space, it took some time because I was just a newbie at the time. But once I started, I actually was doing things that a consultant would do. Like my door I had in my bedroom, I couldn't see my door. So I couldn't see the door. I couldn't see the door and who was coming in because it was hitting the bed. It was facing the bed. So I actually reoriented the door. I had the door hinged on the opposite side. So when the door would open, I'd see who's coming in. It made such a big difference with that. So that's what I would say. Test it out and see what happens. And just do it for a few months. And do it for a few months, start baby steps, and you notice a difference and continue with it. So I would say a refresh. I think the seasons is perfect. That's a great example. But also I would say between 3 and 4 months each time, refresh it, see what happens. And if it's going smoothly, then you continue. And if it's not, just start looking again and finding out what was happening. What do I need to tweak? What do I need to see what's happening in this space, or something else I need to work on? And then you go from there.
Wow. Like, it's nice to know that I kind of do that, during the seasons change. But you just touched on something very precious in terms of how you see, I guess, the world around you change, internally and outwardly. And it just never crossed in my mind. So thank you. Because yeah, this adds more to, I guess, the manifestations and just the zen that, at least for me, I'm trying to always make my way through to find it, because I'm so busy these days. But thank you for that.
Welcome.
I love
Synchronistic moments. Look out for those too. I
that.
remember when I had cleaned up my space in my old apartment when I was first starting out, my very first apartment, and I needed someone to change the light bulb. I had no ladder or anything. Cleaned up the closet, cleaned it up, and then the super knocked at the door, said if I need any help, said I need the light to be changed. Brought in a ladder, and he did it. Literally, like not too long after that, when I was actually looking to date, that was when the AOL was around, the dating AOL, when the app and everything. I had my TV in my bedroom. Now, another thing is, and the feng shui misconception, you really, really, really shouldn't have a TV in your bedroom because it causes distraction. You want to focus on your loved one. You want to focus on getting yourself rest. And I was always covering it up. That's one thing you can do, is cover up the TV. So I was eating my bedroom and everything. I wasn't treating my space in my apartment like a real apartment. So I took the TV out of the bedroom, and I connected the cable. And as soon as I connected the cable with the splicer, I got this email from a guy who was just wanting to talk to me. And I said, "Oh my God!" Immediately, I'm not kidding you. It was
Oh
just
my God.
amazing how that happened. So it's in essence, I took the TV out, which was my friend, took it out of the room, made space for someone to come in.
Wow. Wow.
True
Wow.
story.
Wow.
True story. True story.
I love it.
So
That's
things
really
like that can
cool.
happen. So yeah, just like I said, notice what you notice.
It's definitely a work in progress. Like you said, it's not an overnight thing. It's micro steps to be able to achieve this, as Jennifer said, Zen within your space or your working environment. Decluttering definitely does help, and as well as your intentions
Yes,
behind the space. I think it's important. Like this is the very first apartment like I moved into, and I definitely took like the Marie Kondo like advice seriously. I was like, nah, we're gonna clean, we're gonna sit down on the
Mhm.
floor and just like ground ourselves right here. And what is my overall energy that I want in this room or in this household? And I think for me, it was important at the time. I'm like, I love my family, but one thing is like they had too many things in the household, and I just was like, that's driving me crazy. Like don't get me wrong, grateful, but like it's just sometimes the too much can be too overwhelming for someone like me. And I was just like, I think when I move out, I want less, because less is more. And you just find a way to like, coexist and find that motivation to work, to have that space for your creativity and your joy and to create memories. Thank you for sharing your advice and your wisdom here with us on Presente. I just want to go ahead and ask, so how may our listeners connect with you?
They can connect with me through my website. It's Feng Shui Inspirations, Feng Shui Inspirations, all one word.com. And also email Feng Shui Inspirations 888 at gmail.com. I have a Facebook group page. I'm still working on setting that up. And also, I have a little YouTube channel, but I'm still working on that as well. But the main thing is by email and also by my website as well.
Awesome.
Definitely. Linda Boney and Feng Shui Inspirations at your service for any of your, space, from small spaces to big spaces. She got you. I had a quick question, Linda, and I meant to ask you when I saw you recently. So, what are the thoughts regarding candles in your space?
I love candles. I think candles are beautiful. Their illumination. They light up a room. They create, if it's also, proper candles like soy candles and not the ones that collect soot and everything. It creates a wonderful ambiance. I would say just always be careful with them and where they are, be in the practical sense. But candles are wonderful. Candles are amazing. There's nothing wrong. Candles are, you can actually have different candles and different, if you have them in the relationship corner, put two candles there, pink candles or red candles, and you don't have to light them up because, of course, in the bed, you want to be careful with the lighting and everything. I would say more in a public space like the living room would be more for lighting it up, but even small areas and everything. So candles are fantastic.
Good to know because, I do have my candle collection,
Mhm.
and it dawned upon me in terms of this topic, like how well is like candles accepted in Feng Shui? is it's but just my thought, everyone tends to love candles just off the feeling it gives.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Creates a
Think
warm
there's a
up.
way to elevate the vibes. Love it.
Exactly. My name is Linda Boney, and this is Presente.
Energy is everything, specifically your own. Your energy is sacred. It flows all around our mind, body, soul, and the universe. From the galaxy above, it is life in motion, how we consciously move in our society through our actions, thoughts, and communication styles. Sometimes it's the aura or the light within you. Energy is an interesting topic because there are many ways to unlock different levels of it, and each culture or country has different ways to approach how to work with it.
Enlighten your air, mood, and vibe with luxury and tranquility. Our handcrafted candles bring quality aromatherapy, relaxation, and elegance to every room. Light Maintenance Candles, the better for you candles. Shop lightmaintenancecandles.com.